Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, it's time for the 39th edition, the March 2024 update to the tier list. I'm going to be a little quicker today than normal. Mainly that's because I've been incredibly sick. I think I'm on like day 10 of this. This is the first video I think I'm getting out on it all, but I do want to get this out. This has been a few days delayed for sure. And I want to remind everyone, if you want to know how to work the spreadsheet, because remember the spreadsheet is configurable. Look, you can get rid of Alliance War, you can get rid of Battlegrounds, and all of this is updatable for you. If you want to know who the best champions rank up as 7 stars only are, the spreadsheet wizards have you covered. And if you want to know all champions, meaning like we're the best champions for your Ascension, your 6-star, your Sagas, all of that, you can go to the all champion box there too. And then don't worry, as we go through the video, you will see the whole legend, but also the spreadsheet is linked in the description. You're gonna need to make your own copy. And like I said, if you don't know how to make it work, watch the video I made on how to make it work. So many people each month are very, very frustrated, and I feel badly for them, but I also don't know how to help any more than we already have. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this. And always remember, the best champion rank up is the one you know best. I've been saying this, you can see, for probably over 3 years now, and I can see it catching on in the community, and it's because you're gonna know how to use them very, very well. We will talk about all the champions that have the microphones because they're either new, they've been buffed, or there's just something unique I want to point out. The first champion we're going to cover today is Kushala. She's been promoted into this tier. I'll be honest, I don't fully even remember if we did that. I know I've been talking about that on my channel for a while now, but she got upgraded in War, she got upgraded in Battlegrounds. What a lot of us thought would happen has definitely been happening, to the point where even with this very, very tough tactic, she's like banned now. And you feel it when she is banned. She's just very, very good. A total nuke. I've done so many videos on her. You can go to the playlist on my channel, and I know a lot of people are catching on her because she's starting to be available in crystals, and so because I can see that in the comments and things like that. So she's phenomenal. She's amazing. And in case you haven't heard me say, I got to be part of the design process with her. Yes, I actually really did. It's very cool. All right, let's go and move on. The next champion we're talking about in the top shelf tier is the Destroyer. Now, this is a very slight demotion from when I did the video on him, right? I've been covering new champions as best as I can. I absolutely love the Destroyer. One of the things that's going to happen with the Destroyer, in my opinion, is going to be the relevance in War and in Battlegrounds in particular. This current Battlegrounds meta doesn't work really well with him. He's a very untraditional mystic, but all of those immunities and then everything we covered in the video, you know, I said it in the video at the end because I went back and I listened to it, wanted to make sure it turned out the way I'd hoped it would. And I said, like, he feels very much like a War champion to me. And if you get to your SP3, you're probably going to win because you get that massive power gain if you can play him well enough, especially that initial awakening. I did get outrageously lucky and I pulled the 7-star there. I did that video, I think, actually while I was sick. So you can check that out. And then I will be getting out Destroyer gameplay. He's an absolute blast to play. I think he's very powerful. And I think one of these champions too, I know I said a War champion. What I mean is, like, I think he's going to be highlighted there. I believe this is going to be a champion where if you pull them early and you're doing a lot of questing, you're going to have a lot of fun. Destroyer's going to see you through a lot of content and help you out. And it has some really built-in safeguards. Just an absolutely phenomenal design champion as well. And then we go ahead and move through the rest of the Mystic class, and you can see there's not any other changes outside of that. So now we'll move on to Mutant. Moving on to Mutant, and the only update, the only change in the tier list here is I want to talk about Nightcrawler. Now, I believe we placed Nightcrawler last month because I covered the buff, right? And what I thought, and really, I know how self-serving this is going to sound, but everything I thought would happen has happened with Nightcrawler. And if you're like, no, Nightcrawler sucks, go watch his Trappy. In fact, I'll link, what I'll do is I'll put Trappy's video in the playlist. So you can check this out as I do. These playlists are filled with videos from myself, the MCoC, Illuminati, and other content creators. Trappy did a phenomenal video showing Nightcrawler as a dual-use champion in Battlegrounds. I do think they're going to be problematic enough on defense, right? You're going to want those tech champions that can handle the evade there, or other champions like Iceman, maybe Professor X, who can shut down the evade there without doing it via ability accuracy. But then Nightcrawler can also do a significant amount of damage and do it fast. And then for those of you who aren't interested in Battlegrounds, I think this is going to come down to a couple things, because Nightcrawler doesn't have a ton of utility outside of this, but Nightcrawler does have that elongated, like, dash back evade mechanic. I'm being told they can evade photons, specials there. And then I know that in my video, I showed some very difficult evades. I think it was against Bullseye, right? And I do not enjoy fighting against Bullseye. Using Bullseye I enjoy, but fighting against Bullseye I do not. So that right there, if that's something that's very valuable for you, you can increase Nightcrawler's general use score there, and just basically what goes into making up Nightcrawler, all the abilities, things like that. And I think Nightcrawler easily becomes a top shelf champion. In fact, I could see us over the course of the next couple of months moving Nightcrawler up just by general rankings and as Nightcrawler has time into the game. All right, that's the mutant class. Let's go ahead and move on to science. Moving on to science, and again, science has been looking good. I mean, the spreadsheet wizards, the MCoC Illuminati, we went through the big revamp in December of last year where we did all the top 10s and 15s and things like that. So it's making sense to me that we're not going to see a lot of change month to month. It'll just be about the new champions, anything, the buffs and things like that. And this one's another one we got to call out is Luke Cage. Now, I covered the Luke Cage buff very well too. You can just check out the video. Nothing was changed from that. DLL was part of the Luke Cage buff. I don't think he ended up doing all of it, but I know he did a ton of it. And one of the things I wanted to see was, will Luke Cage get used in Battlegrounds, right? Because we can't test that. And sure enough, Jaeger, a new member of the MCU Illuminati, thank you so much for being here, Jaeger, has been using Luke Cage and producing exceptionally impressive results. Jaeger's been enjoying showing those to us on the Discord server, and these are against like rank 2 7 stars, these are against Ascended 6 stars, these sorts of things. So there's really no tricks to it. Jaeger plays at a very, very high tier of Battlegrounds, and so there really wasn't much question. Is Luke Cage going to be usable in War? I think the answer was clearly going to be a yes, right? War is so specific that often, like, because of the node and defender, you can't always bring a certain champion, but Luke would have a role there if you wanted to use Luke. And I think it's very, very clear Luke definitely can work in Battlegrounds, and then of course in questing, immunities and all kinds of debuffs and things like that. Again, make sure you check out the video. I will link the playlist there for Luke Cage, and you can go ahead and check it out. I am a big fan, and yes, apparently, thanks to Jaeger, we now know for sure Luke Cage can be quick enough to pull off some wins for you in high-tier Battlegrounds. Moving on to the tech class, the only champion we're going to quickly talk about is Shocker, right? We've talked a lot about Shocker. I think a few months ago we had him just slightly above Warlock. A lot of people questioned that. We went back, kind of reevaluated it, did tinker with the ratings very slightly, just did a single point. Made this move down, but I just wanted to reiterate, it is very clear that, you know, when I pulled him in December, I did the kind of the how to use, or like a very mini spicy meter there. I was on vacation, but I wanted to get some out on why I like Shocker so much. And ever since then, Shocker's been usable in Battlegrounds, in questing, in War. And then we even were able to use him, I think it was against the Absorbing Man EOP is what I used him in. He was great. People were even getting solos and things like that. So there's even ways to play him in longer format. He's a phenomenal champion. If you have the ability to rank up a Shocker, if you have one, I highly recommend you at least try him out, see if you like him, and then go from there. But Shocker, there's no doubt for me. I just kind of want to finish this off because people who watch monthly, I think, might be wondering. Shocker is, in my opinion, there's no end or the end of him falling out of the meta or something like that that would make it so he moves down to the top shelf. It is not coming anytime soon. Shocker is very much a tier above all champion as far as I'm concerned. Can be used in all of the modes of the game and definitely help you in questing and things like that as it comes along. All right, now moving on to the skill class, there are no changes here, so I just want to take a second, let everyone kind of take a look at it. Like I said, remember, I will do a screenshot size of this made by none other than the Misty K, and I will put that up on my Twitter feed probably about a week or so after this goes live. So you can always follow me on Twitter too. Get your own screenshot size. Misty makes it look really, really nice, so you can just kind of pull it up and take it from there. All right, let's go and move on to the final class of Cosmic. Moving on to the final class of Cosmic, we have two champions we're going to talk about today, and both are, fortunately, because I do enjoy good champions, are going to be in the top shelf tier. There's no change in tier above all or anywhere else, but these two are the newest champion coming into the game is Serpent. And here's the funny thing about the Serpent is I do the scores, right? There's a whole metric and scoring system, and I give the scores and I input them, and then I look at the rating to see, like, okay, where did it make sense? Because I don't want to have the scores be influenced by where I think the rating's supposed to be. I'd rather have it be the other way around. And Serpent was actually in the tier above all. And I decided I'm going to leave this alone. And I went and I showed it to the Illuminati, and everyone had the exact same response. Even the spreadsheet wizard, everyone did, was Serpent is too high. Then they went and looked at the scores, and they were like, I really can't argue with any of the scores, any of them. And in fact, here's the real irony, is Serpent's long form score could actually go up. Based on, I think it was MSD has done some long form show. Like, we all kind of theorized it. We realized the ramp was there. We realized the potential for some of these massive numbers, but then MSD actually took the time, energy, and effort to go ahead and go and do that. I will put a screenshot up right now for you where you can see I used Serpent in Battlegrounds against a rank 2 Domino and actually pulled off a reasonable score. Now, I would not recommend you do this. Domino doesn't have armor ups, which is something that Serpent's going to ramp a lot quicker. The damage will be going a lot faster. Plus, it's Domino. She did crit fail some things in that fight. I just kind of, you know, I got a little lucky against Domino, which doesn't normally happen. But what I want to show is that there is this capability. DLL did a beautiful job. There's even this added thing where on offense, not on defense, on offense, Serpent gets his 4 stacks. I can't think of what it's called right now. Dread or something like that to get going a little bit faster. And I really love that, right? Like, for years, we used to play this game saying like, hey, it's cool to have a defender, but I don't want to rank them up because I can never use them on offense. And here we are. We've got a very powerful defender that right now does seem to have options for beating him in the game. And as we're going to learn to fight him better and learn more options, I am sure. But also, if you want to turn around and use Serpent on offense, you can, and not just in Battlegrounds. I've actually had a blast using Serpent in quests and that sort of thing. So I really like this champion. He's got that true sensibility, you know, we've been talking about for a long time now, that I think Evade is back. I think it's something that we need to think about. It's something we need to be aware about. I love that. I think it's cool. It's giving a space for us to use so many of our champions who shut down Evade. And then Miss is clearly a thing, and Serpent's just like, I got it, boys. Don't worry, I'll handle that for you. As a power gain, you know I love power gains on a champion. It makes their flow just come together, their abilities come together. I just really, really think, again, no shock, DLL, a phenomenal design. I think this is a great addition to the game. And I very much have Serpent there. And I will tell you that over the next, I'd say, half a year, I will not be surprised if we see Serpent in the tier above all. As more people get him, as there's more quests, there's more content, and people are like, okay, I don't need a nuke, because Serpent is not a nuke, okay? But I don't need a nuke. Maybe I'm not using it to attack all the time in Battleground. In fact, probably very rarely. But there's this quest that came out, and I want someone who's going to stay alive, and I want someone who's tanky, and I want someone who's going to handle Evade, and I want someone who's going to handle Miss. And they're going to be like, you know, that Serpent guy is really, really fun. So that's why we've got him there, okay? And then the next one is Gladiator. Now, I've been doing videos on all the buffs and things like that. I really enjoy doing those. And I am a massive fan of Gladiator, to the fact where was so excited. I pulled 7-star Destroyer, right? I bought those early access bundles, and I pulled 7-star Destroyer, and I was just as excited pulling 7-star Destroyer as I was pulling 6-star Gladiator. I did not have a Gladiator. I immediately took him, I awakened him, I took him all the way to 6200. I used all my X Magica, the 2-3 or the 2-4, the 3-4, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then I used the 4-5 Gem 2. I am so pumped up. I will finish off the quest so I can ascend him day 1 of his buff going live. And the few people I could see in the comments of the video I made who were like still not thinking he was very good, I think just obviously didn't watch the video, because one of the things I showed in that video, and one of the reasons why I have Gladiator as high up as I do, is he was producing very good results. Like, I would say like B damage, B plus, B minus, whatever, damage, without doing the whole heavy, the whole punishing of the specials from the defender thing. You did not have to play him that well. You did not require the defender have a very long special. Now, I get it. I get it. When it's your favorite champion, you want them to be able to do everything. And I understand. Like, I am so happy that America Chavez, one of my favorite champions, could do so many things in the game. So I understand that maybe folks are just kind of like trying to nitpick because they really, really like Gladiator. They voted for Gladiator. They really wanted to be amazing. But I will say that as time goes on, I think a lot of people are going to really enjoy this champion. I'm such a believer in it, and I believe so much of what I'm saying. Like I said, Gladiator will be ascended, rank 5 ascended, before his buff even goes live in the game, because I believe in it that much. I think he's that good, and I think he's that strong, and I think he's going to be that fun to play. That is it for this. If you're enjoying all this content, make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit like, comment, share, do the whole thing. It is obviously very, very helpful to me, and it helps let me know like what people are enjoying and things like that. I have a blast doing this. As you can see, we've been doing this for well over 3 years now. As always, massive thank you to the MCoC Illuminati, everyone sharing all that knowledge, that wealth of knowledge with me, so we can get all this stuff done, get this all out there to everybody. And then, of course, the Spreadsheet Wizards for putting it together for us and creating this absolutely amazing spreadsheet that everyone can use and go and tailor it. You know, you like Alliance War? Great. If you don't, remove it. You're all good. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.